Welcome back to Rehabilitation Revelations World. I'm Chase,
I'm Christopher.
and today we kind of want to go over talk about soul purpose. What's your soul purpose in life?
Yeah, really trying to transverse through all those things about finding our purpose. Because I know really a lot in my recovery journey, I have found that, my purpose, I felt like I was just living.
Yeah,
And, just getting sober at first and then finding recovery being long term recovery. Uh, I kind of was, blown by the wind, kind of knocked around by life, not really having a lot of concentration, not a lot of focus. But through that, I think it's just as we mature, not only in life, but in this recovery process, man, I have found that, your purpose or my purpose, my soul purpose, starts to become more evident the deeper I dive. And I would be lying to you, excuse me, I would be lying to you, Chase, if I would say that, it's so evident of what I'm supposed to be doing that it was just kind of sticking out to me. But I get lost in myself and my addiction or my life or the problems that I've had in my life that you kind of lose yourself,
yeah,
and really, I don't cannot succinctly say that this is what I did to help find that.
yeah.
It was more of a process of many different things. I don't know really kind of your thoughts about that either.
Yeah, man. I really think people go through this life, thinking about what it is that they want to do, or and you're supposed to, but they focus on like different things, like worldly things. They think this is what's going to make them happy, a job, or they got to do this necessarily for their family, or going like you know and doing random different things, that really doesn't entirely make them happy.
No.
And it's like, well, what has God intended you to do? What's that? Is it a God thing, or is it just because what you want to do?
Yeah.
And really it's just two different depictions on my part. And you can do what you want to do ultimately, but where does it make you happy? Do you feel it in your soul that you want to do it?
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm at in my life, man, is like, especially with recovery, it's like, what do I want to do? And what I want to do really and getting more in depth with it is to ultimately help people,
Yeah.
and like that's really what I feel like life is about in general.
Yeah.
It's like helping people, but also helping yourself.
Yeah.
And I just feel like kind of going through life, you find those things because in general, man, like God gives you like a million things, and He knows you're gonna probably fail over half of them.
Yeah.
It's up to you to really figure it out. Where am I gonna what am I gonna be? Who when I die, how are people really gonna remember me?
Yeah.
Good, bad, maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I don't think, we really, that's not really what we have to really necessarily think about. It's really generally what does make you happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can speak from my perspective, Chase, and I have found, again, I've said this before, I have attained nothing. It's an ongoing process. But in saying that, sometimes I know in life, in our road, the struggle, the grind is things necessarily don't make me happy. Like, what does this make me happy? No, not really. Does it make me happy to get up in the morning at 4:30 in the morning, Chase? Does it make me happy when at the end of the day and I'm gassed out to have to go to a meeting or somebody's graduating a program or something and we're there to support them and I'm really not feeling like being there?
Yeah.
And or man, my daughter has a dance recital that I really don't want to go to And I found that doing those things, even necessarily that I don't want to do those things, they incrementally bring me to a place of gratefulness.
Yeah.
Because I have to shift my perspective. Yes, I'm tired, man. No, I don't want to necessarily do these things. And look, let's be honest here. I don't always want to get up and go to church or go to mass or do these things and have to go and talk to people and engage with people. Really, I just want to kind of relax a little bit. But I have found that, doing those things, I wouldn't necessarily say for me, happiness is the word, but it shifts my perspective on how grateful and like the things I do have in my life that not everybody has. Because we said it before, Chase, not a lot of people have these things that we have.
No.
Or we have the privilege of being a part of.
Yeah, yeah.
And, at times do these make me happy? No. Not. Sometimes they kind of make me mad, to be honest with you. Sad, frustrated.
Very.
And
patient, testing your patience.
Yeah, testing
to
your
the max.
Yes, and you want to put hands on somebody sometimes.
Yeah.
In that, but with me, it's more of a contentment. Am I necessarily like always happy? Because for me to, I guess, happiness, you have to have something to compare it to. So for one to be happy, one must have been sad. For you to be well, you must have been sick.
Yeah.
So it's more, I understand life's about ups and downs, but I'm doing trying to do the right things. And so, to me, man, I made a lot of mistakes, Chase, a lot. And I'm sure I probably still will, but sometimes the right thing is not fun. It doesn't make me happy.
No.
Other people are going to criticize. Look, people are going to criticize you whether you do the right thing or the wrong thing.
Every time.
You're going to get criticized anyway. People are they're going to pop off about something.
Every time.
And you know that just as well as I know that.
Oh, yeah.
And but it's doing the right things in line with my values and God.
Yeah.
It's God and my values are starting to align. If my values start aligning with God, then I know no matter what anybody else is doing, am I doing the next right thing? Because for a long time in my life, Chase, I did not. I did the opposite. It was depravity of where my mind was. And sometimes my mind still goes to that.
Yeah.
The criminal comes out of me real fast.
Yeah.
At times. And it's taken time for me to learn different coping mechanisms without resorting to that. But really, I mean, can you relate to any of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, coping is kind of like a huge factor for me now. It's kind of where we're doing this and being able to have a friend like you and talk to you.
Yeah.
And to fully understand. Because really, man, you really do. You get me out of my thoughts sometimes. And, I have different people as well. But really, your accountability people you have to have in general, too. So, because when you start thinking negative, and I do it to myself a lot. I kind of roll with it. It's been that way my whole life. But I have to get out of that mindset because it's man, really, you have to believe you're a good person.
Yeah.
And you are. But if we do bad things, everybody messes up. But really define that true bliss, I think, is what I'm trying to say, is you have to go and you really have to dig deep and find it. And you're not going to find it tomorrow. You're not going to find it in a week. A lot of people go through their whole lives and feel like they've done nothing because they haven't dug. They've walked every single day thinking this is what they need to do because they've done it for don't take this the wrong way, for other people and not themselves. But to do things for other people, you have to do it yourself. You have to find yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Not oh, this is what other people want me to do.
Mm-hmm.
No, man. You have to honestly go, and you have to dig deep and find what you.
It's hard.
Yeah, your true happiness, man. Like your sense of peace, your sense of like like where. There's a day you have to realize it's like, where am I going?
Mm-hmm.
What do I really, really, really want to be? You know, and it might be a doctor, it might be in counseling, it might be digging ditches, you know, whatever makes you happy, do it. And sometimes it's gonna be hard. Sometimes you have to start from the bottom and work your way up. And that's within yourself too. Sometimes we have to start completely over. And you might have to do it different times in your life. I mean, you know, it's going through the struggles we've kind of gone through, man. We had to start over. We've had to literally start over and figure out what we want to do now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and starting this podcast too, man. It's like we genuinely want to do this. We love doing. We have conversations like this every day, and where it helps us, you know, in general. Mm-hmm. This is for us, you know, and it's for people too, and we want people to understand, like, to really get through these things, you have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. And you got to do the work too.
And do the work.
And man, you brought up something good. Mark and I was talking about this the other day. And you know, I can't tell you how many psychiatrists or counselors or peer support specialists, whatever you want to call it, that community. Yeah. I've seen quite a few of them. And if talking about my problems was innately the answer, then I'd be okay.
Yeah.
You know, and if I focus, so if I go into the counselor, I'm like, look, hey, I'm feeling anxious, I'm depressed, or this is happening, that is happening. If I keep visiting that and talking about that, in my mind, I can ruin my own day, type of thing.
Every day.
And it's, if I get in that thought process and just think of all these negative things that I've done, and I have these negative thoughts, or ruining my life.
Yeah.
If I sit there and talk about that all day and do not actually have a plan, and not only have that plan, is starting engaging that plan. And like you're saying, man, it takes time. And it takes work. Man. And it's tough. This has been the toughest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. It's not been a job. It's not been playing ball.
Yeah.
It's not losing my dad. It's not those things, and I'm not saying those are not tough things that we deal with. I'm not trying to say that at all. But the hardest continuous thing that I've had to do is mentally check myself, Chase, every single day. And when I start feeling a type of way or thinking a type of way, I have to get out of it. And yes, talking is a part of it.
Yeah,
but we can sit here and talk all day. If we don't go outside and actually engage it and get uncomfortable to do those things, then really this is just talk. This is just us up here talking crazy talk in front of each other.
Yeah.
If there's nothing done behind it, because Chase, I thought I was smarter. I thought I was more educated. I thought I could think my way out of this. You know, and look, I'm not saying this is a fan. I don't care if it offends you. This is what it is. If God could keep us sober, Chase, all of us would be sober.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
You know, if that was the de facto.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say that. I'm not taking nothing away from that. But if it was like, look, you just got to do this with God. Yeah. That's the only way. Then everybody would. Everybody would
participate.
Everybody would participate.
It'd be the easiest. It'd be the perfect world.
It would be the perfect world to do that.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that go in to not only, we're talking about addiction, but just I don't know, PTSD. I don't know, food addictions, porn addictions, work addiction, just relationship. When you're codependent on somebody, we all have those problems, And I know the stigma is, this guy's a crack addict, this guy's an alcoholic, he's a fentanyl addict, he's an opiate addict. That's what we think of an addiction is.
Yeah.
But us as humans, and we'll go in this, we'll have a clinical guy on that is really, really good with these things and the chemistry and how we behave here in a couple of weeks. And he does a lot better. This is what he does.
Yeah.
This is what he does.
We're just two dudes.
Yeah, we're just two dudes that we talk to this genius every day.
We know what we're talking about.
We think we know what we're talking about. This guy literally is, when we say this guy's a genius, this guy is a genius.
Absolutely.
But just, there's so many different things that's biologically happening and spiritually happening, emotionally happening, and all these things that all these pieces have to come together.
Yeah.
Because if you just have one piece, you're done. If you just have the God piece and nothing else, buddy, whatever's happening, it might get better for a little while, but you're gonna go back to the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and, it's a constant struggle, man. God, I mean, he disciplines.
Yeah.
It's not all about, you become a Christian. That's where people get false narratives from it. They think, oh man, I go to church and this and that, and like, oh, my life's gonna be great. No.
It might actually get a little bit harder.
Yeah, because
you're stripping everything away.
Guess what? Because God's gonna test you.
Yeah.
He's gonna test your faith. He's gonna test your strength. He's gonna put you through trials and errors to test you to see how you do. Yeah. And then guess what? If you don't succeed in that, He's gonna throw it another way, or in a different manner or way to test you again until you pass it.
Yeah.
And guess what? Another one's coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not all glorious, man.
No.
Life ain't, life's life, bro. It's a good life. But you can't, it's not going to be, I don't know, man. I think it's crazy to think people just think life can be just butterflies and rainbows if they do this.
My life hadn't been like that. No. I don't know anybody else's.
Bro,
the people I've talked to.
I said in the last one, man, I've seen complete darkness, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, until you've fully seen that or understand it, the people think they have, bro, you know when you have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's why I appreciate this. Yes.
Yeah, that right there will set your soul in another manner. Because when you come out of it and you realize, bro, whoa, I don't want to be that man anymore. I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to, even relate to that, man. And that's where we want people to understand. It's like, man, don't give up, but B, you keep going and you'll find what you really need to do, and it might be multiple things. But figure it out. Yeah. Don't sit there and act like you figured it out, because I guarantee you haven't.
No, dude, no.
And that's where people are like, oh, this is where my life. Maybe that's where people in general, y'all might feel like, you might be happy in that world, man, because you got this, you got your family, and then you get to go to work and come home. And of course, man, of course. But one day you're going to be sitting there and you'll be like, man, I didn't go do these things in life because I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone and do those things. I made excuses my whole life to not do them because I thought I was living a happy life. Yeah. And I wasn't.
You're living a comfortable life.
Yeah. And whatever, man. If it makes you happy, cool. Yeah. But I'm telling you, you're gonna wake up one day, or maybe not, and just be like, well, "Who am I?" Yeah. And it's because it'll capture you quickly, and
faster than you think.
Yeah, like really, man. We walk through this life to uncover the things that we're made to do. Or we're here for it, so to speak. And I'm not sitting there saying a second ago, I was thinking about it now. I'm not sitting there saying like, how are people going to remember you? I'm trying to say, like, how when you're laying there one day, are you going to be like, man, I know I did everything I needed to do to be the person I wanted to be? Or we're going to have the other say, you know, I don't even have to say it.
Yeah.
But why not figure it out every day? Why not try to something new? Why not be a person that you never thought you'd be, I guess.
So,
Go for your dreams, capture your goals, man.
yeah.
You know, and it's yeah.
I got you, man. I know we just had a second to do this, guys. Man, we'll go more in depth on a few of these things. Like I said, we'll have people on, you know, but I just wanted to sit down, and we had a few things on our mind, and we just kind of wanted to get out there and put it out there. But we appreciate y'all sticking around watching us. Like I said, we got tons and tons of more to come, and we both enjoy doing this. But I appreciate y'all listening. We appreciate everything, man. I appreciate you, my dog.
Yeah, I
You're
love
the
you.
man.
Yeah.
Love you too, dog.
Yeah.
See you, man.
We love y'all.